All right, we are coming up on, well, a little bit past, actually, but who's keeping track? 8 o'clock! So, let's settle in. Let's get comfortable. Grab a drink, grab a chair, and let's cozy up with an old friend tonight, with Walt Whitman, as we return to Leaves of Grass. Hello, hello, and welcome back, everyone. It's been a bit of a roller coaster of a week lately, hasn't it? Tuesday was normal. Friday, we joined the gang over on Fanfic Friday and had a ton of fun. I will admit to have, after the end of stream, having stayed up far too late, just yapping, which is honestly refreshing. It's rare you come across people that you can just lose track of time like that. Especially, it's hard to meet people as an adult, let's be real. You know what? That is fair. Is that the door opens and the most important thing, the star of the show, is front and center. There is Zoe. Simba will wander in as soon as he hears me talking. There's something about the streaming voice, the hamming it up just enough. It will call him from across the room, and he will jump up, hang out on the desk. So, we'll kind of watch the clock. We'll see how long it takes for him to join us. But yeah, so as I was saying, we've had a weird week. We had the Friday was outside of our norm. And then on Saturday, we had the 4th of July reading, which is becoming something of a tradition. I try and involve major holidays as we go. Last year, we did 4th of July. We did Pride Month. We did, a little out of order there, we did Pride Month, we did 4th of July, we did Halloween, and we did the winter holidays. So we do observe quite a lot of things around here. And I'm enjoying that habit, getting into things. I know for sure that we're going to have to scale back both the spooky season and the winter season a little bit, because there's not that much to choose from, if I'm being entirely honest. I've got a couple things eyeballed for spooky season, but we really kind of tapped the well on the holiday season stuff. So we might just need to have a couple days, not an entire month this year around. But we'll see. We'll see. But, alright, so, all that being said, it's been a different but very fun week so far. But we're getting back to our comfort zone tonight, as we're returning to Walt Whitman's Leaves of Grass. Now, Walt is a complicated man. He is one of the most prominent gay, pan, bi... You can't put this man in a bucket. One of the most prominent queer authors of the formative years of American lit. And considering the environment, considering the... Oh, yeah, here's Simba. Hello. Yep, it didn't take very long. We're at 4 minutes in, 5 minutes in. Figure we had a minute late start. Didn't take very long for him to realize what was going on. Yes, good boy. Considering the environment he was in and the time period where he was having his formative years, it would be entirely understandable for Walt to be bitter, pessimistic, downtrodden. Because honestly, people back then were treated every bit as badly for not conforming to the norm as they are today in the worst of environments. In our best cases, sure, there's been monumental steps made. But we're kidding ourselves if we think that our best is the same as our worst. Our worst has not changed a whole lot since the 1800s. So, the fact that he is so unrelentingly positive, in touch with his own emotions and the priorities and feelings of those around him, all while being profoundly optimistic and patriotic, all rolled into one, is a testament to the human spirit and a powerful reminder that Walt himself is just a good bean. He was a good bean. And so, let's go ahead and get back to our reading tonight. We only have probably 2 or 3 days left of Walt Whitman here and Leaves of Grass. We're making good progress. And this is a very in-depth, a very long collection, honestly. It's his life's work, the story of Walt Whitman, his life, bundled between 2 covers. Sorry, Simba, I know. You don't like it when I pick at your mats, but I swear to God, buddy, you are lazy and don't clean up your own fur. That is right. That is right. Yeah. Yeah. He's not yelling. That's good. There we go. Break that up some. There we go. Got that big bed knot out. There we go. All right. So, yeah, as I was saying, let's be productive tonight, shall we? So, shifting over into our reading nook, let's see where the night will take us as we return now to Walt Whitman's Leaves of Grass. We're picking back up in, which book is this? Book 32. We've got about 20% left in this one. And we're making about, it's hard to really put an estimate on it. Some of these we don't make as much progress some days as others just by virtue of it being poems. Sometimes a page is 2 lines, and other times a poem is 30 pages. So it's best not to even try to predict. All right, so, O magnet south. O magnet south, O glistening perfumed south, my south. O quick metal, rich blood, impulse and love, good and evil, oh, all dear to me. Oh, dear to me. My birth, things, all moving things, and the trees where I was born, the grains, plants, rivers. Dear to me, my own, slow, sluggish rivers, where they flow, distant over flats of silvery sands or through swamps. Dear to me the Roanoke, the Savannah, the Altamaha, the Padee, the Tombigbee, the Santee, the Coosa, and the Sabine. Oh, pensive, far away wandering, I return with my soul to haunt their banks again. Again in Florida, I float on transparent lakes. I float on the Okeechobee. I cross the hummock land or through the pleasant openings or dense forests. I see the parrots in the woods. I see the papaw tree and the blossoming titi. Again, sailing in my coaster on deck. I coast off Georgia. I coast up the Carolinas. I see where the live oak is growing. I see where the yellow pine, the scented bay tree, the lemon and orange, the cypress, the graceful palmetto. I pass rude sea headlands and enter Palmico Sound through an inlet, and dart my vision inland. Oh, the cotton plant, the growing fields of rice, sugar, hemp, the cactus guarded with thorns, the laurel tree with large white flowers, the range of far, the richness and barrenness, the old woods charged with mistletoe and trailing moss. The piney odor and the gloom, the awful natural stillness. Here, in these dense swamps, the freebooter carries his gun, and the fugitive has his concealed hut. Oh, the strange fascination of these half-known, half-impassable swamps. infested by reptiles, resounding with the bellow of the alligator, the sad noises of the night owl and the wild cat, and the whir of the rattlesnake. The mockingbird, the American mimic, singing all the forenoon, singing through the moonlit night. The hummingbird, the wild turkey, the raccoon, the opossum, the possum, a Kentucky cornfield, the tall, graceful, pine-leaved corn, a long-leaved corn. What am I doing tonight? Slender, flapping, bright green, with tassels, with beautiful ears, each well sheathed in its husk. Oh, my heart, oh, tender and fierce pangs, I can stand them not. I will depart. Oh, to be a Virginian where I grew up. Oh, to be a Carolinian. Oh, longings irrepressible. Oh, I will go back to old Tennessee and never wander more. Manhattan. I was asking for something specific and perfect for my city, whereupon, lo, up sprang the aboriginal name. Now, I see what there is in a name. A word, liquid, sane, unruly, musical, self-sufficient. I see that the word of my city is that word from of old, because I see that word nested in nests of water bays, superb, rich, hemmed thick all around with sail ships and steamships, an island 16 miles long, solid founded, numberless crowded streets, high growths of iron, slender, strong, light, splendidly uprising toward clear skies. Tides, swift and ample, well loved by me. Toward sundown, the flowing sea currents, the little islands, larger adjoining islands, the heights, the villas, the countless masts, the white shore steamers, the lighters, the ferry boats, the Black Sea steamers, well modeled, the downtown streets, the jobbers' houses of business, the houses of business of the ship merchants and money brokers, the river streets, immigrants arriving 15 or 20,000 in a week, the carts hauling goods, the manly race of drivers of horses, the brown-faced sailors, the summer air, the bright sun shining and the sailing clouds aloft, the winter snows, the sleigh bells, the broken ice in the river passing along up or down with the flood tide or ebb tide, the mechanics of the city, the masters, well-formed, beautiful-faced, looking you straight in the eyes, trottoirs, thronged vehicles, Broadway, the women, the shops and shows, a million people, manners free, and superb open voices, hospitality. The most courageous and friendly young men, city of hurried and sparkling waters, city of spires and masts, city nested in bays, my city. All is truth. Oh me, man of slack faith so long, standing aloof, denying portions so long, only aware today of compact, all-diffused truth, discovering today there is no lie or form of lie, and can be none, but grows as inevitably upon itself as the truth does upon itself, or as any law of the earth or any natural production of the earth does. This is curious, and may not be realized immediately, but it must be realized. I feel in myself that I represent falsehoods equally with the rest, and that the universe does. Where has failed a perfect return, indifferent of lies or the truth? Is it upon the ground, or in water, or fire, or in the spirit of man, or in the meat and blood? Meditating among liars and retreating sternly into myself, I see that there are really no liars or lies after all, and that nothing fails its perfect return, and that what are called lies are perfect returns, and that each thing exactly represents itself and what has preceded it, and that the truth includes all, and is compact just as much as space is compact, and that there is no flaw or vacuum in the amount of the truth, but that all is truth without exception. And henceforth I will go celebrate anything I see or am, and sing and laugh and deny nothing. A riddle song. That which eludes this verse, and any verse, unheard by sharpest ear, unformed in clearest eye or cunningest mind, nor lore, nor fame, nor happiness, nor wealth, and yet the pulse of every heart and life throughout the world incessantly, which you and I, and all pursuing ever miss. Open, but still a secret, the real of the real, an illusion, costless, vouchsafed to each, yet never man the owner, which poets vainly seek to put in rhyme, historians in prose, which sculptor never chiseled yet, nor painter painted, which vocalist never sung, nor orator nor actor ever uttered. Invoking here and now, I challenge from my song. Indifferently, mid public, private haunts, in solitude, behind the mountain and the wood, companion of the city's busiest streets, through the assemblage, it and its radiations constantly glide. In looks of fair unconscious babes, or strangely in the coffin dead, or show of breaking dawn or stars by night, as some dissolving delicate film of dreams, hiding yet lingering, two little breaths of words comprising it. Two words, yet all from first to last comprised in it. How ardently for it! How many ships have sailed and sunk for it! How many travelers started from their homes and ne'er returned! How much genius boldly staked and lost for it! What countless stores of beauty love ventured for it! How all superbest deeds since time began are traceable to it, and shall be to the end! How all heroic martyrdoms to it! How justified by it the horrors, evils, battles of the earth! How the bright, fascinating, lambent flames of it in every age and land have drawn man's eyes! Rich as a sunset on the Norway coast, the sky, the islands and the cliffs, or midnight's silent, glowing northern lights unreachable. Haply, God's riddle it, so vague and yet so certain. The soul for it, and all the visible universe for it, and heaven at last for it. Excelsior! Who has gone farthest? For I would go farther. And who has been just? For I would be the most just person of the earth. And who most cautious? For I would be more cautious. And who has been happiest? Oh, I think it is I. I think no one was ever happier than I. And who has lavished all? For I lavish constantly the best I have. And who proudest? For I think I have reason to be the proudest son alive. For I am the son of the brawny and tall-topped city. And who has been bold and true? For I would be the boldest and truest being of the universe. And who benevolent? For I would show more benevolence than all the rest. And who has received the love of the most friends? For I know what it is to receive the passionate love of many friends. And who possesses a perfect and enamored body? For I do not believe anyone possesses a more perfect or enamored body than mine. And who thinks the amplest thoughts? For I would surround those thoughts. And who has made hymns fit for the earth, for I am mad with devouring ecstasy to make joyous hymns for the whole earth. Ah, poverty's wincings and sulky retreats. Ah, poverty's wincings and sulky retreats. Ah, you foes that in conflict have overcome me. For what is my life, or any man's life, but a conflict with foes? The old, the incessant war. You degradations, you tussle with passions and appetites, you smarts from dissatisfied friendships, wounds the sharpest of all. You toil of painful and choked articulations, you meannesses, you shallow tongue talks at tables, my tongue the shallowest of any. You broken resolutions, you racking angers, you smothered envies. Ah, think not you finally triumph. My real self has yet to come forth. It shall yet march forth o'ermastering till all lies beneath me. It shall yet stand up, the soldier of ultimate victory. Alright, hang tight. OBS is being a pain in the butt right now. I think we are about through, though. Yep, looks good. Good. Make sure we're happy here. DVR's on. List is off. We're looking good. YouTube is friendly. Twitch is happy. Okay, cool. Jumping back in with thoughts of public opinion, of a calm and cool fiat sooner or later. How impassive, how certain and final. Of the president, with pale face asking secretly to himself, what will the people say at last? Of the frivolous judge, of the corrupt congressman, governor, mayor, of such as these standing helpless and exposed. Of the mumbling and screaming priest, soon deserted. Of the lessening year by year of venerableness. And of the dicta of officers, statutes, pulpits, schools. Of the rising forever taller and stronger and broader of the institutions of men and women. And of self-esteem and personality, of the true new world, of the democracies resplendent en masse, of the conformity of politics, armies, navies to them, of the shining sun by them, of the inherent light greater than the rest, of the envelopment of all by them, and the effusion of all from them. Mediums. They shall rise in the states. They shall report nature, laws, physiology, and happiness. They shall illustrate democracy and the cosmos. They shall be alimentive, amative, perceptive. They shall be complete men, women, and men. Their pose brawny and supple, their drink water, their blood clean and clear. They shall fully enjoy materialism and the sight of products. They shall enjoy the sight of the beef, lumber, breadstuffs of Chicago, the great city. They shall train themselves to go in public to become orators and oratresses. Strong and sweet shall their tongues be. Poems and materials of poems shall come from their lives. They shall be makers and finders. Of them and their works shall emerge divine conveyors, to convey gospels, characters, events, retrospections. Shall be conveyed in gospels. Trees, animals, waters shall be conveyed. death, the future, the invisible faith shall all be conveyed. Weave in, my hardy life. Weave in, my hardy life. Weave yet a soldier strong and full for great campaigns to come. Weave in red blood, weave sinews in like ropes, the senses, sight, weave in, weave lasting sure. Weave day and night the wet, the warp, incessant weave, tire not. We know not what the use, O life, nor know the aim, the end, nor really ought we know. But we know the work. The need goes on and shall go on. The death-enveloped march of peace as well as war goes on. For great campaigns of peace, the same, the wiry threads to weave, we know not why or what, yet weave, forever weave. Spain, 1873 to 74. Out of the murk of heaviest clouds, out of the feudal wrecks and heaped up skeletons of kings, out of that old, entire European debris, the shattered mummeries, ruined cathedrals, crumble of palaces, tombs of priests, lo, freedom's features, fresh, undimmed, look forth. The same immortal face looks forth. A glimpse, as of thy mother's face, Columbia. A flash, significant as a sword beaming towards thee. Nor think we forget thee, maternal. Lag'dst thou so long? Shall the clouds close again upon thee? But thou hast thyself now appeared to us. We know thee. Thou hast given us a sure proof, the glimpse of thyself. Thou waitest there as everywhere thy time. All right, excuse me. Did you... How many apostrophes are you going to throw into one word, Walt? Lagdist? I know it's the poet's... the poet's domain to make their own contractions when vowels are inconvenient. But my man, you're writing free verse. You're not having to deal with like a pentameter, no meter. It's just whatever fits. Was that really necessary? Was it absolutely required? Or is this just you thumbing your nose at me from beyond the sands of time? I can see it. I'd believe it. By broad Potomac's shore. By broad Potomac's shore, again, old tongue, still uttering, still ejaculating, canst never cease this babble? Again, old heart so gay, again to you your sense, the full flush spring returning. Again, the freshness and the odors, again Virginia's summer sky, pellucid blue and silver. Again the forenoon purple of the hills, again the deathless grass, so noiseless, soft and green. Again the blood-red roses blooming. Perfume this book of mine, O blood-red roses. Love subtly with your waters every line, Potomac. Give me of you, O spring, before I close, to put between its pages. O forenoon purple of the hills, before I close, of you. O deathless grass, of you. From far Dakota's canyons, June 25th, 1876. From far Dakota's canyons, lands of the wild ravine, the dusky Sioux, the lonesome stretch, the silence. Haply today a mournful wall, haply a trumpet note for heroes. The battle bulletin, the Indian ambuscade, the craft, the fatal environment, the cavalry companies fighting to the last in sternest heroism. In the midst of their little circle, with their slaughtered horses for breastworks, the fall of Custer and all his officers and men. Continues yet the old legend of our race, the loftiest of life upheld by death. The ancient banner perfectly mounted, O lesson opportune, O how I welcome thee! As sitting, in dark days lone, sulky through the times, thick murk looking in vain for light, for hope, from unsuspected parts of fierce and momentary proof. The sun there at the center, though concealed, electric life forever at the center, breaks forth a lightning flash. Thou, of the tawny flowing hair in battle, I erewhile saw with erect head passing ever in front, bearing a bright sword in thy hand, now ending well in death, the splendid fever of thy deeds. I bring no dirge for it, or thee. I bring a glad, triumphal sonnet. Desperate and glorious, aye, in defeat most desperate, most glorious, after thy many battles in which never yielding up a gun or a colour, leaving behind thee a memory sweet to soldiers, thou yieldest up thyself. This is one of Walt's rare misses, honestly. His view on indigenous peoples is less than charitable, and the glorification of Custer is not a good look. So take it with a grain of salt. No man is perfect. This is one of the greatest of Whitman's faults. But it's been a couple hundred years. I think it's safe to separate the artist from the art, and to recognize that maybe glorifying Custer and his last stand was just in vogue at the time. It seems to still be in vogue from time to time, but let's not delve too deep into that. That way lay madness. Old War Dreams. In midnight sleep of many a face of anguish, of the look at first of the mortally wounded, of that indescribable look, of the dead on their backs with arms extended wide, I dream, I dream, I dream of scenes of nature, fields and mountains, of skies so beauteous after a storm, and at night the moon so unearthly bright, shining sweetly, shining down where we dig the trenches and gather the heaps. I dream, I dream, I dream. Long have they passed, faces and trenches and fields, where through the carnage I moved with a callous composure, or away from the fallen onward I sped at the time. But now of their forms at night I dream, I dream, I dream. Thick sprinkled bunting. Thick sprinkled bunting, flag of stars! Long yet your road, fateful flag, long yet your road, and lined with bloody death. For the prize I see at issue at last is the world. All its ships and shores I see interwoven with your thread's greedy banner. dreamed again the flag of kings, highest born to flaunt unrivaled? O hasten, flag of man, O with sure and steady step, passing highest, flags of kings, walk supreme to the heavens' mighty symbol, run up above them all, flag of stars, thick sprinkled bunting. What best I see in thee? To USG returned from his world's tour. That Ulysses S. Grant. What best I see in thee is not that where thou movest down history's great highways, ever undimmed by time shoots warlike victories dazzle, or that thou sattest where Washington sat, ruling the land in peace, or thou, the man whom feudal Europe fated, venerable Asia swarmed upon, who walked with kings with even pace the round world's promenade. But what in foreign lands, in all thy walks with kings, those prairie sovereigns of the West, Kansas, Missouri, Illinois, Ohio's, Indiana's, millions, comrades, farmers, soldiers, all to the front, invisibly, with thee, walking with kings, with even pace the round world's promenade, were all so justified. Spirit that formed this scene, written in Platte Canyon, Colorado. Spirit that formed this scene, these tumbled rock piles, grim and red, these reckless, heaven-ambitious peaks, these gorgeous, turbulent, clear streams, this naked freshness, these formless, wild arrays, for reasons of their own. I know thee. Savage spirit, we have communed together. Mine too, such wild arrays, for reasons of their own. Wast charged against my chance, they had forgotten art, to fuse within themselves its rules, precise and delicatesse. The lyrist's measured beat. Lyrist? Lyrist? Either way, really. The wrought-out temple's grace column and polished arch forgot. But thou that revellest here, spirit, that formed this scene, they have remembered thee. As I walk these broad, majestic days, as I walk these broad, majestic days of peace, for the war, the struggle of blood finished, wherein, O terrific ideal, against vast odds erewhile having gloriously won, now thou stridest on, yet perhaps in time, toward denser wars, perhaps to engage in time in still more dreadful contests, dangers, longer campaigns and crises, labors beyond all others. Around me I hear that eclat of the world, politics, produce, the announcements of recognized things, science, the approved growth of cities, and the spread of inventions. I see the ships. They will last a few years. The vast factories with their foremen and workmen, and hear the endorsement of all, and do not object to it. But I, too, announce solid things. Science, ships, politics, cities, factories are not nothing. Like a grand procession to music of distant bugles pouring, triumphantly moving and grander heaving in sight, they stand for realities. All is as it should be. Then my realities. What else is so real as mine? Libertad and the divine average, freedom to every slave on the face of the earth, the rapt promises then lumine of seers, the spiritual world, these centuries-lasting songs, and our visions, the visions of poets, the most solid announcements of any. A clear midnight, This is thy hour, O soul, thy free flight into the wordless, away from books, away from art, the day erased, the lesson done, the fully forth emerging, silent, gazing, pondering the themes thou lovest best. Night, sleep, death, and the stars. All right, that brings us to the end of book 32, and with it we have book 33, Songs of Parting. That's rather ominous. How many books do we have left? Not a whole lot, actually. Well, this one is hell of a long. Holy shit. Okay, so there are only 2 books left, I think, if I'm reading this right. The Songs of Parting and Sands... Sands at 70. It's 70? Oh, Walt had a good run. But this is certainly the point in one's life where you see more friends go than you make new friends, I think. And that's kind of depressing, honestly. But that is the way of life, isn't it? Alright, so, continuing on with book 33, Songs of Parting. As the time draws nigh. As the time draws nigh, glooming cloud, a dread beyond of I know not what darkens me. I shall go forth. I shall traverse the states a while, but I cannot tell whither or how long. Perhaps soon, some day or night, while I am singing, my voice will suddenly cease. O book, O chance, must all then amount to but this? Must we barely arrive at this beginning of us, and yet it is enough, O soul, O soul. We have positively appeared. That is enough. Years of the modern. Years of the modern, years of the unperformed. Your horizon rises. I see it parting away for more august dramas. I see not America only, not only liberty's nation, but other nations preparing. I see tremendous entrances and exits, new combinations, the solidarity of races. I see that force advancing with irresistible power on the world stage. Have the old forces, the old wars, played their parts? Are the acts suitable to them closed? I see freedom, completely armed and victorious, and very haughty, with law on one side and peace on the other. A stupendous trio, all issuing forth against the idea of caste. What historic denouements are these we so rapidly approach? I see men marching and counter-marching by swift millions. I see the frontiers and boundaries of the old aristocracies broken. I see the landmarks of European kings removed. I see this day the people beginning their landmarks. All others give way. Never were such sharp questions asked as this day. Never was average man, his soul, more energetic, more like a god. Lo, how he urges and urges, leaving the masses no rest. His daring foot is on land and sea everywhere. He colonizes the Pacific, the archipelagos. With the steamship, the electric telegraph, the newspaper, the wholesale engines of war, with these and the world-spreading factories he interlinks all geography, all lands. What whispers are these, O lands, running ahead of you, passing under the seas? Are all nations communing? Is there going to be but one heart to the globe? Is humanity forming en masse? For lo, tyrants tremble, crowns grow dim, the earth restive confronts a new era. Perhaps a general divine war. No one knows what will happen next. Such portents fill the days and nights. Years prophetical. The space ahead as I walk, as I vainly try to pierce it, is full of phantoms. Unborn deeds. Things soon to be project their shapes around me. This incredible rush and heat, this strange ecstatic fever of dreams, oh years! Your dreams, oh years, how they penetrate through me. I know not whether I sleep or wake. The performed America and Europe grow dim, retiring in shadow behind me. The unperformed, more gigantic than ever, advance upon me. Ashes of soldiers. Ashes of soldiers, south or north. As I muse, retrospective, murmuring a chant in thought, the war resumes. Again, to my sense, your shapes, and again, the advance of the armies. Noiseless as mists and vapors, from their graves in the trenches ascending. From cemeteries all through Virginia and Tennessee. From every point of the compass, out of the countless graves, in wafted clouds, in myriads large or squads of twos or threes or single ones, they come and silently gather round me. Now sound no note, O trumpeters, not at the head of my cavalry parading on spirited horses, with sabers drawn and glistening and carbines by their thighs. Ah, my brave horsemen, my handsome, tan-faced horsemen. What life, what joy and pride, with all the perils were yours. Nor you drummers, neither at reveille or dawn, nor the long roll alarming the camp, nor even the muffled beat for burial. Nothing from you this time, O drummers, bearing my warlike drums. But aside from these, and the marts of wealth and the crowded promenade, admitting around me comrades close, unseen by the rest and voiceless, the slain elate and alive again, the dust and debris alive, I chant this chant of my silent soul, in the name of all dead soldiers. Faces so pale, with wondrous eyes, very dear, gather closer yet, draw close, but speak not. Phantoms of countless lost, invisible to the rest, henceforth become my companions. Follow me, ever, desert me not while I live. Sweet are the blooming cheeks of the living, sweet are the musical voices sounding, but sweet, ah, sweet, are the dead with their silent eyes. Dearest comrades, all is over and long gone. But love is not over. And what love, O comrades! Perfume from battlefields rising, up from theatre arising. Perfume therefore my chant. O love, immortal love, give me to bathe the memories of all dead soldiers. Shroud them, embalm them, cover them all over with tender pride. Perfume all, make all wholesome. Make these ashes to nourish and blossom. O love, solve all, fructify all with the last chemistry. Give me exhaustless. Make me a fountain. that I exhale love from me wherever I go, like a moist perennial dew, for the ashes of all dead soldiers, south or north. Alright, we got about 5 minutes till ad. Let's try and get through one more of these. Thoughts. Of these years I sing, how they pass and have passed through convulsed pains, as through parturitions. How America illustrates birth, muscular youth, the promise, the sure fulfillment, the absolute success, despite of people, illustrates evil as well as good. The vehement struggle so fierce for unity in oneself, how many hold despairingly yet to the models departed, caste, myths, obedience, compulsion, and to infidelity. How few see the arrived models, the athletes, the Western states, or see freedom or spirituality, or hold any faith in results. But I see the athletes, and I see the results of the war glorious and inevitable, and they again leading to other results. How the great cities appear, how the democratic masses, turbulent, willful as I love them, how the world, the contest, the wrestle of evil with good, the sounding and resounding, keep on and on. How society waits unformed, and is, for a while, between things ended and things begun. How America is the continent of glories, and of the triumph of freedom, and of the democracies, and of the fruits of society, and of all that is begun, and how the states are complete in themselves, and how all triumphs and glories are complete in themselves to lead onward, and how these of mine and of the states will in their turn be convulsed, and serve other parturitions and transitions. How all people, sites, combinations, the democratic masses too, serve, and how every fact, and war itself with all its horrors serves, and how now, or at any time, each serves the exquisite transition of death, of seeds dropping into the ground, of births, of the steady concentration of America inland, upward to impregnable and swarming places, of what Indiana, Kentucky, Arkansas, and the rest are to be, of what a few years will show there in Nebraska, Colorado, Nevada, and the rest, or afar, mounting the northern Pacific to Sitka or Alaska. Alaska? Of what the foulage of America is the preparation for, and of what all sites, north, south, east, and west, are, of this union, welded in blood, of the solemn price paid, of the unnamed lost ever present in my mind, of the temporary use of materials for identity's sake, of the present, passing, departing, of the growth of completer men than any yet, of all sloping down there where the fresh, free giver the mother, the Mississippi flows, of mighty inland cities yet unsurveyed and unsuspected, of the new and good names, of the modern developments of inalienable homesteads, of a free and original life there, of simple diet and clean and sweet blood, of litheness, majestic faces, clear eyes, and perfect physique there, of immense spiritual results, future years far west, each side of the Anahuacs, of these songs well understood there, being made for that area, of the native scorn of grossness and gain there. Oh, it lurks in me night and day. What is gain, after all, to savageness and freedom? All right, so we got about a minute till ads kick off, so we're going to take a pause here. But it is interesting as we continue on and we're getting further and further into this. If you ignore probably the first third of this book, it is entirely different from anything you might expect. And beyond that, if you only read the second half or so, there's no way this could ever have been banned. But we all know this is one of the most banned books in American Lit, because you can't separate the halves. The first third, with its free love and sex positivity, and in general just very communal feelings, it invalidates all the rest in the eyes of those who are on those committees who are banning books from schools and such. It is a shame. But those people tend to willfully never learn a thing anyway, so it is what it is there. Alright, we've got ads about to kick off, so let's go ahead and take a few minutes. Stand up, stretch your legs, top up your drinks, attend to your fuzzy friends, and we'll be back in just a moment to continue with Leaves of Grass. Thank you. All right, we are back. Let's make sure the monitors are friendly. Looks good. Well, Twitch is having a hiccup right now, but I think we're okay. All right, so let's continue on. We have another hour tonight, and we are about at 15% left in this reading. So, if I gauge this right, we'll kind of see where we are at the end of tonight. Actually, I can take a look at where our bookmark was. The most recent bookmark we had. Here, I'll set one here so it's easy to get back. Just so we can have a feel for where we are going next. So right now we're at 85%. We started tonight at 81, so yeah, get about 3-4% in through each hour. That's about fair. And this is sometimes pretty dense. Heading back here. So yeah, we've probably got about 2 days left, I'd say, before we wrap up. Probably a short night on one of them, or maybe we just run extra on one day and we'll see how it goes. So, let's continue and enjoy this vibe as we get in the mind of Walt Whitman as he nears the end of his mortal span. And we got, close that there. There we go. Song at Sunset. Splendor of ended day, floating and filling me. Hour prophetic, hour resuming the past, inflating my throat, you divine average. You earth and life, till the last ray gleams, I sing. Open mouth of my soul, uttering gladness, eyes of my soul seeing perfection. Natural life of me, faithfully praising things, corroborating forever the triumph of things. Illustrious everyone, illustrious what we name space, sphere of unnumbered spirits. Illustrious the mystery of motion in all beings, even the tiniest insect. Illustrious the attribute of speech, the senses, the body. Illustrious the passing light, illustrious the pale reflection on the new moon in the western sky. Illustrious whatever I see or hear or touch to the last. Good in all. In the satisfaction and aplomb of animals, in the annual return of the seasons, in the hilarity of youth, in the strength and flush of manhood, in the grandeur and exquisiteness of old age, in the superb vistas of death. Wonderful to depart, wonderful to be here, the heart to jet all alike and innocent blood, to breathe the air, how delicious. To speak, to walk, to seize something by the hand, to prepare for sleep, for bed, to look on my rose-colored flesh, to be conscious of my body, so satisfied, so large, to be this incredible God I am, to have gone forth among other gods, these men and women I love. Wonderful how I celebrate you and myself. How my thoughts play subtly at the spectacles around. How the clouds pass silently overhead. And how the earth darts on, and how the sun, moon, stars dart on and on. How the water sports and sings, surely it is alive! How the trees rise and stand up, with strong trunks, with branches and leaves. Surely there is something more in each of the trees, some living soul. Oh, amazement of things, even the least particle. Oh, spirituality of things. Oh, strain musical flowing through ages and continents, now reaching me and America. I take your strong chords, intersperse them, and cheerfully pass them forward. I, too, carol the sun, ushered or at noon, or as now setting. I, too, throb to the brain and beauty of the earth, and of all the growths of the earth. I, too, have felt the resistless call of myself. As I steamed down the Mississippi, as I wandered over the prairies, as I have lived, as I have looked through my windows, my eyes, as I went forth in the morning, as I beheld the light breaking in the east, as I bathed on the beach of the eastern sea, and again on the beach of the western sea, as I roamed the streets of inland Chicago, whatever streets I have roamed, or cities, or silent woods, or even amid the sights of war, wherever I have been, I have charged myself with contentment and triumph. I sing to the last, the equalities modern or old. I sing the endless finales of things. I say nature continues, glory continues. I praise with electric voice, for I do not see one imperfection in the universe, and I do not see one cause or result lamentable at last in the universe. Oh, setting sun, though the time has come, I still warble under you, if none else does, unmitigated adoration. As at thy portals, also death. As at thy portals, also death, entering thy sovereign, dim, illimitable grounds, to memories of my mother, to the divine blending maternity, to her, buried and gone, yet buried not, gone not from me. I see again the calm, benignant face, benignant? Face fresh and beautiful still. I sit by the form in the coffin. I kiss and kiss convulsively again the sweet old lips, the cheeks, the closed eyes in the coffin. To her, the ideal woman, practical, spiritual, of all of earth, life, love, to me the best. I grave a monumental line before I go, amid these songs, and set a tombstone here. Oh, hey, a little bit of a hiccup there. I think we are done dropping frames now. My legacy. The businessman, the acquirer vast, after assiduous years surveying results, preparing for departure, devises, houses, and lands to his children, bequeaths stocks, goods, funds for a school or hospital, leaves money to certain companions to buy tokens, souvenirs of gems and gold. But I, my life surveying, closing, with nothing to show, to devise from its idle years, nor houses, nor lands, nor tokens of gems or gold for my friends, yet certain remembrances of the war for you, and after you, and little souvenirs of camps and soldiers with my love. I bind together and bequeath in this bundle of songs. Pensive on her dead gazing. Pensive on her dead gazing, I heard the mother of all. Desperate on the torn bodies, on the forms covering the battlefields gazing, as the last gun ceased, but the scent of the powder smoke lingered. As she called to her earth with mournful voice while she stalked, absorb them well, O my earth, she cried. I charge you, lose not my sons, lose not an atom. And you, streams, absorb them well, taking their dear blood, and you, local spots. Hey, thanks for joining in. Yeah, we are getting up toward the end of Leaves of Grass, but it's been a trip, honestly. Whitman really has, he doesn't miss very often. So this has been a joy to go get through. Where was I? And you, local spots, and you, airs that swim above lightly impalpable, and all new essences of soil and growth, and you, my river's depths, and you, mountain sides and woods where my dear children's blood trickling reddened, and you, trees down in your roots to bequeath to all future trees. My dead absorb, or south or north, my young men's bodies absorb, and their precious, precious blood, which, holding in trust for me faithfully back again, give me many a year hence. In unseen essence and odor of surface and grass, centuries hence, in blowing airs from the fields back again, give me my darlings, give my immortal heroes. Exhale me them centuries hence, breathe me their breath, let not an atom be lost. O years and graves, O air and soil, O my dead and aroma sweet, exhale them perennial, sweet death, years, centuries hence. Camps of green, nor alone those camps of white, old comrades of wars. When as ordered forward after a long march, footsore and weary, soon as the light lessens we halt for the night. Some of us, so fatigued carrying the gun and knapsack, dropping asleep in our tracks, others pitching the little tents and the fires lit up begin to sparkle. Outposts of pickets posted surrounding, alert through the dark, and a word provided for countersign, careful for safety, till to the call of the drummers at daybreak, loudly beating the drums, we rise up refreshed, the night and sleep passed over, and resume our journey, or proceed to battle. Lo, the camps of the tents of green, which the days of peace keep filling, and the days of war keep filling with a mystic army. Is it too ordered forward? Is it too only halting a while, till night and sleep pass over? Now, in those camps of green, in their tents dotting the world, in the parents, children, husbands, wives, in them, in the old and young, sleeping under the sunlight, sleeping under the moonlight, content and silent there at last. Behold the mighty bivouac field, and waiting camp of all, of the corps and generals all, and the president over the corps and generals all, and of each of us, oh, soldiers, and of each and all in the ranks we fought, there, without hatred we all meet. For presently, oh, soldiers, we too camp in our place in the bivouac camps of green. we need not provide for outposts, nor word for the countersign, nor drummer to beat the morning drum. The sobbing of the bells. Midnight, September 19th to 20th, 1881. The sobbing of the bells. The sudden death news everywhere. The slumberers rouse the rapport of the people. Full well they know what that message in the darkness. Full well respond within their breasts, their brains, the sad reverberations. The passionate toll and clang, city to city, joining, sounding, passing, those heartbeats of a nation in the night. As they draw to a close. Not sure how I got close there. As they draw to a close. Of what underlies the precedent songs of my aims in them, of the seed I have sought to plant in them, of joy, sweet joy, through many a year in them. For them have I lived, in them my work is done. Of many an aspiration fond, of many a dream and plan, through space and time fused in a chant, and the flowing eternal identity to nature encompassing these, encompassing God, to the joyous, electric all, to the sense of death, and accepting, exulting in death in its turn, the same as life, the entrance of man to sing, to compact you, ye parted, diverse lives, to put rapport the mountains and rocks and streams and the winds of the north and the forests of oak and pine with you, O soul. Joy, shipmate, joy. Joy, shipmate, joy! Please to my soul at death I cry. Our life is closed. Our life begins, the long, long anchorage we leave. The ship is clear at last, she leaps, she swiftly courses from the shore. Joy, shipmate, joy. The untold want. The untold want by life and land ne'er granted. Now, voyager, sail thou forth, to seek and find. Portals. What are these of the known but to ascend and enter the unknown? And what are those of life but for death? These carols sung to cheer my passage through the world I see, for completion I dedicate to the invisible world. I believe it was Pablo Neruda who said Walt Whitman is the American poet, referring to the fact that he is a poet through whom we can unify the American sentiment of the entire continent, from Chile and Argentina in the south to Canada in the north. I like that. I like that a lot. As we've read through Whitman, I mentioned it in our intro today, but Whitman is a complicated man, full of layers, but throughout all of it, he has a steady beat, a steady pulse, a core that makes him who he is. There's openness, optimism, some patriotism, but never really verging into nationalism. He's just looking at the human condition and realizing that all men are, in fact, equal. All men, all lovers of other people have the same capacity. And it's fantastic. He's encapsulating the American spirit, but beyond just the American country, the American continent. I really like that phrase and reference. Pablo Neruda. I'm gonna need to look that up. Thank you. Did I read this one yet? No. Okay. These carols sung to cheer my passage through the world I see. For completion I dedicate to the invisible world. Yeah, I was equally surprised, and in a very good way. Early on, like we've talked about this through the readings. So this is our 10th night reading Leaves of Grass. So we've had the same conversations a few times, obviously, but as an adult, I've had very little exposure to Whitman. When I was in school, I read a paper, or I read Leaves of Grass and a few other of his works in preparation to write a big authorial intent paper. And as I'm sure all of us have some sort of agreement deep down, when you're made to read something, it engenders a very specific form of distaste for both the author and the work. But when you're able to sit down and just read it for yourself, it has an entirely different vibe. And yeah, I think for most people, you're probably in very pleasant company there, Akamos, because I think most people pick and choose the highlights from this. And there's nothing bad about that. That's what poems are really all about. But when you see it entire like this, and you realize that Leaves of Grass specifically is basically Walt Whitman's entire life and soul poured down on the page in chronological order and slapped between two book covers. When you read it and experience it all at once like this, it tells a different sort of story than just taking the highlights. The highlights are fantastic and great. Yeah. Certain middle American academic circles do live and breathe by Whitman. That is understandable. All right, let's see. In fact, Whitman even resembles in spirit. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, I'm gonna get this. Nezahualcoyotl? That's as close as I'm gonna get. We all know, I have absolutely no skill in Spanish, and in particular, Aztec, I believe. Yeah, and Aztec. The poet king of the Aztec Empire, in his poem, My Brother Man That Goes, I love the song of the mockingbird. Bird of 400 voices, I love the color of jade and the intoxicating perfume of flowers. But what I love most is my brother, man. Damn, okay, I like that. I like that a lot. And obviously, like, translations are hard. But that works. That captures the spirit exceptionally well. I like that a lot. And yeah, you're right. It's a very good... Yeah, North American struggles in the water. Water is wet. Yes, in other news, old man does not know how to... Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And you know what? I'll continue to try. I'll do it over and over again for your entertainment. All right, let's try and get a few more in tonight. Let's keep it on. But thank you for joining in tonight, Raymond. This has been great. Now, finale to the shore. Now, finale to the shore. Now, land and life finale and farewell. Now, voyager, depart. Much, much for these yet in store. Often enough hast thou adventured o'er the seas, cautiously cruising, studying the charts, duly again to port and hawser's tie returning, but now obey thy cherished secret wish. Embrace thy friends, leave all in order. To port and hawser's tie, no more returning. Depart upon thy endless cruise, old sailor. I do try, but I see a word and I'm like, oh, they're gonna get a kick out of this. Because there are certain ones that come, like, I can muddle through, like, some Spanish and French, even Italian to some extent. Like, you can kind of fake it, catch certain things, but there are certain words that come up, and it's like, not a chance in hell. Not a chance in hell. And when we get around to doing, like, some Russian lit, it's on. You are going to have so much ammunition when we do, like, Dostoevsky and the like. It's gonna be ugly. And you will laugh all through the night. I swear to God. So long. To conclude, I announce what comes after me. I remember I said before my leaves sprang at all, I would raise my voice jocund and strong with reference to consummations. When America does what was promised, when through these states walk 100 millions of superb persons, when the rest part away for superb persons and contribute to them, when breeds of the most perfect mothers denote America, then to me and mine our due fruition. I have pressed through in my own right. I have sung the body and the soul, war and peace have I sung, and the songs of life and death, and the songs of birth, and shown that there are many births. I have offered my style to every one. I have journeyed with confident step. While my pleasure is yet at the full, I whisper so long. And take the young woman's hand and the young man's hand for the last. I announce natural persons to arise. I announce justice triumphant. I announce uncompromising liberty and equality. I announce the justification of candor and the justification of pride. I announce that the identity of these states is a single identity only. I announce the union more and more compact, indissoluble. I announce splendors and majesties to make all the previous politics of the earth insignificant. I announce adhesiveness. I say it shall be limitless, unloosened. I say you shall yet find the friend you are looking for. I announce a man or woman coming. Perhaps you are the one. So long. I announce the great individual, fluid as nature, chaste, affectionate, compassionate, fully armed. I announce a life that shall be copious, vehement, spiritual, bold. I announce an end that shall lightly and joyfully meet its translation. I announce myriads of youths, beautiful, gigantic, sweet-blooded. I announce a race of splendid and savage old men. Oh, thicker and faster, so long! Oh, crowding too close upon me, I foresee too much. It means more than I thought. It appears to me I am dying. Hasten, throat, and sound your last. Salute me. Salute the days once more. Peal the old cry once more. Screaming electric, the atmosphere using at random, glancing each as I notice, absorbing swiftly on. But little while alighting, curious, enveloped messages delivering, sparkles hot, seed ethereal, down in the dirt dropping. Myself, unknowing, my commission obeying, to question it never daring. To ages and ages yet the growth of the seed leaving, to troops out of the war arising, they the tasks I have set promulging. To women certain whispers of myself bequeathing, their affection me more clearly explaining. To young men my problems, offering no dallier. I, the muscle of their brains trying, so I pass a little time vocal, visible, contrary, afterward a melodious echo, passionately bent for death, making me really undying. The best of me, then, when no longer visible, far toward that I have been incessantly preparing. What is there more? That I lag and pause and crouch, extended with unshut mouth? Is there a single, final farewell? My songs cease. I abandon them. From behind the screen where I hid, I advance personally, solely to you. Camarado, this is no book. Who touches this touches a man. Is it night? Are we here, together, alone? It is I you hold, and who holds you. I spring from the pages into your arms. Decease calls me forth. Oh, how your fingers drowse me. Your breath falls around me like dew. Your pulse lulls the tympans of my ears. I feel immerged from head to foot. Delicious enough. Enough. Oh, deed impromptu and secret. Enough, oh, gliding present. Enough, oh, summed up past. Dear friend, whoever you are, take this kiss. I give it especially to you. Do not forget me. I feel like one who's done work for the day to retire a while. I receive now again of my many translations, from my avatars ascending, while others doubtless await me. An unknown sphere more real than I dreamed, more direct, darts awakening rays are about me so long. Remember my words. I may again return. I love you. I depart from materials. I am as one disembodied, triumphant, dead. Hey, thanks, Raymond. To be fair, Whitman makes it really easy to ham it up and try and play into it. Poetry in general is easy to sort of dial it up to 11 every once in a while, but this does bring out the old theater kid in me. I will admit, it's fun to just let it rip sometimes. All right, so we now are upon the last book of Leaves of Grass. Let's look at our table of contents here. It is a long one, so we do have a fair bit ahead of us yet. That is one of my many faults, is I tend to be a little overly modest. All right, so let's continue into the last book. And judging from the progress we've made tonight and what we have remaining, I think we should be able to finish this up on Tuesday with our next normally scheduled reading. So, hang tight. We're getting into this. So, book 34. Sands at 70. Manhattan. Hey, no problem at all with lurking. I am more than happy to be background noise. And let this be a reminder to those of you who are fresh here. We do have a YouTube channel that has all of our VODs going back to when we just started, with all sorts of books, genres, authors, classics the world over. So feel free to drop by sometime and pick and choose from our library that we've got going on. All right. Manhattan. My city's fit and noble name resumed. Choice aboriginal name with marvelous beauty, meaning a rocky founded island shores, wherever gaily dash the coming. Ooh, lordy. Dash the coming, going, hurrying sea waves. Pominock. Sea beauty, stretched and basking, one side thy inland ocean laving, broad with copious commerce, steamers, sails, and one, the Atlantic's wind caressing, fierce or gentle mighty hulls, dark gliding in the distance, isle of sweet brooks of drinking water, healthy air and soil, isle of the salty shore, and breeze and brine. From Montauk Point, I stand as on some mighty eagle's beak, eastward the sea absorbing, viewing, nothing but sea and sky. The tossing waves, the foam, the ships in the distance, the wild unrest, the snowy curling caps, that inbound urge and urge of waves, seeking the shores forever. To those who failed. To those who failed in aspiration vast, to unnamed soldiers fallen in front of the lead, on the lead, to calm, devoted engineers, to over-ardent travelers, to pilots on their ships, to many a lofty song and picture without recognition, I'd rear laurel-covered monument, high, high above the rest, to all cut off before their time, possessed by some strange spirit of fire, quenched by an early death. A carol closing 69. A carol closing 69. A resume, a repetition, my lines in joys and hope continuing on the same. Of ye, O God, life, nature, freedom, poetry. Of you, my land, your rivers, prairies, states, you mottled flag I love. Your aggregate retained entire of north, south, east, and west, your items all. Of me, myself, the jocund heart yet beating in my breast, the body wrecked, old, poor, and paralyzed, the strange inertia falling pole-like around me. The burning fires down in my sluggish blood not yet extinct, the undiminished faith, the groups of loving friends. The bravest soldiers. Brave, brave were the soldiers, I named today, who lived through the fight. But the bravest pressed to the front and fell, unnamed, unknown. A font of type. This latent mind, these unlaunched voices, passionate powers, wrath, argument or praise, or comic leer, or prayer devout. Not nonpareil, brevier, bourgeoisie, long primer merely. These ocean waves, arousable to fury and to death, or soothed to ease and sheeny sun and sleep, within the pallid slivers slumbering. As I sit writing here, sick and grown old, not my least burden is that dullness of the years, querilities, Ungracious glooms, aches, lethargy, constipation, whimpering, ennui may filter in my dally songs. My canary bird. Did we count, great? Oh, so to penetrate the themes of mighty books, absorbing deep and full from thoughts, plays, speculations. But now from thee to me, caged bird, to feel thy joyous warble filling the air, the lonesome room, the long forenoon. Is it not just as great, O soul? Queries to my 70th year. Approaching, nearing, curious, thou dim, uncertain spectre, bringest thou life or death? Strength, weakness, blindness, more paralysis and heavier? Or placid skies and sun? Wilt stir the waters yet? Or haply cut me short for good, or leave me here as now? Dull, parrot-like and old, with cracked voice, harping, screeching. The Wallabout Martyrs. Greater than memory of Achilles or Ulysses, more by far to thee than tomb of Alexander, those cartloads of old charnel ashes, scales and splints of mouldy bones, once living men, once resolute courage, aspiration, strength, the stepping stones to thee today and here, America. The first dandelion. Simple and fresh and fair from winter's close emerging, as if no artifice of fashion, business, politics had ever been. Forth from its sunny nook of sheltered grass, innocent, golden, calm as the dawn, the spring's first dandelion shows its trustful face. America. Center of equal daughters, equal sons, all alike endeared, grown, ungrown, young or old, strong, ample, fair, enduring, capable, rich, perennial with the earth, with freedom, law, and love, a grand, sane, towering, seated mother, chaired in the adamant of time. Memories. How sweet the silent backward tracings, the wanderings, as in dreams, the meditation of old times resumed, their loves, joys, persons, voyages. Today and thee. The appointed winners in a long-stretched game. The course of time and nations, Egypt, India, Greece, and Rome, the past entire with all its heroes, histories, arts, experiments, its store of songs, inventions, voyages, teachers, books, garnered for now and thee. To think of it! The heirdom all converged in thee. After the dazzle of day. After the dazzle of day is gone, only the dark, dark night shows to my eyes the stars. At the clangor of organ majestic, or chorus, or perfect band, silent, athwart my soul, moves the symphony true. Abraham Lincoln, born February 12th, 1809. Today, from each and all, a breath of prayer, a pulse of thought, to memory of him, to birth of him. Out of May's shows selected. Apple orchards, the trees all covered with blossoms, wheat fields carpeted far and near in vital emerald green, the eternal, exhaustless freshness of each early morning, the yellow, golden, transparent haze of the warm afternoon sun, the aspiring lilac bushes with profuse purple or white flowers. Halcyon days. Not from successful love alone, nor wealth, nor honored middle age, nor victories of politics or war, but as life wanes, and all the turbulent passions calm, as gorgeous, vapory, silent hues cover the evening sky, as softness, fullness, rest suffuse the frame like fresher, balmier air. As the days take on a mellower light, and the apple at last hangs, really finished and indolent, ripe on the tree, then, for the teeming quietest, happiest days of all, the brooding and blissful halcyon days. Fancies at Navesink. I think it's Navesink. The Pilot in the Mist. Steaming the northern rapids, an old St. Louis reminiscence. A sudden memory flash comes back, I know not why, here, waiting for the sunrise, gazing from this hill. Again, 'tis just at morning a heavy haze contends with daybreak. Again the trembling, laboring vessel veers me, I press through, foam-dashed rocks that almost touch me. Again I mark where aft the small, thin Indian helmsman looms in the mist, with brow elate and governing hand. Had I the choice to tally greatest bards, to limn their portraits stately, beautiful, and emulate at will, Homer, with all his wars and warriors, Hector, Achilles, Ajax, or Shakespeare's woe-entangled Hamlet, Lear, Othello, Tennyson's fair ladies, metre or wit the best, or choice conceit to wield in perfect rhyme, delight of singers, these, oh see, all these I'd gladly barter. Would you, the undulation of one wave, its trick to me transfer, or breathe one breath of yours upon my verse, and leave its odor there? You tides with ceaseless swell, you tides with ceaseless swell, you power that does this work, you unseen force centrifugal through spaces spread, rapport of sun, moon, earth, and all the constellations. What are the messages by you from distant stars to us? What Sirius? What Cabela's? What central heart? And you, the pulse vivifies all. What boundless aggregate of all? What subtle indirection and insignificance in you? What clue to all in you? What fluid, vast identity? Holding the universe with all its parts as one, as sailing in a ship. Last of ebb and daylight waning. last of ebb and daylight waning, scented sea cool landward making, smells of sedge and salt incoming, with many a half-caught voice sent up from the eddies. Many a muffled confession, many a sob and whispered word, as of speakers far o'erhid. How they sweep down and out, how they mutter, poets unnamed, artists greatest of any, with cherished lost designs. Love's unresponse, a chorus of ages' complaints, hopes, last words. Some suicide's despairing cry, away to the boundless waste, and never again return. On to oblivion, then. On, and do your part, ye burying ebbing tide. On, for your time, ye furious debauch. And yet, not you alone. And yet, not you alone. Twilight and burying ebb, nor you, ye lost designs alone, nor failures, aspirations, I know. Divine, deceitful ones, your glamours seeming, duly by you, from you, the tide and light again, duly the hinges turning, duly the needed discord parts offsetting, blending, weaving from you, from sleep, night, death itself, the rhythmus of birth eternal. And dropping some frames here. I think it might be OBS and Comcast conspiring against us. One moment here. Okay, please. It would be great. It would be fantastic if you would just stop dropping frames. We only have a few minutes left tonight. Please. I don't ask for much. Just cooperate for a little while, Comcast. That's all I need. Just a little bit. I pay you enough. I promise I do. All right. I think we're stable? Okay. Make sure YouTube's happy. Seems okay. Let's make sure Twitch is happy. Seems okay. We're not buffering. All right. Let's continue. Where were we? Ah, there we go. Proudly, the flood comes in. Proudly, the flood comes in, shouting, foaming, advancing. Long it holds at the high, with bosom broad outswelling. All throbs, dilates the farms, woods, streets of cities, workmen at work. Mainsails, topsails, jibs appear in the offing, steamers, pennants of smoke, and under the forenoon sun, freighted with human lives, gaily the outward bound, gaily the inward bound, flaunting from many a spar the flag I love. By that long scan of waves, myself called back, resumed upon myself in every crest, some undulating light or shade, some retrospect. Hey, Slack, what's up, man? Thanks for joining us. Joys, travels, studies, silent panoramas, scenes ephemeral, the long past war, the battles, hospital sites, the wounded and the dead, myself through every bygone phase, my idle youth, old age at hand, my 80 years of life summed up, and more, and past, by any grand ideal tried, intentions, the whole a nothing. And haply yet some drop within God's schemes and ensembles, some wave or part of wave, like one of yours, ye multitudinous ocean. Then last of all, caught from these shores, this hill of you, O tides, the mystic human meaning, only by law of you, your swell and ebb, enclosing me the same, the brain that shapes, the voice that chants this song. Okay. We got a few minutes yet tonight. We're coming up on the end of our stellar selection, but I would like to see if we can get to 90% tonight. So we just have a couple more pages yet, and I think we should be okay. And I, fancy enough, have a couple snoozes available, so fuck the ads. Get the hell out of here with that shit. So, let's continue on. Election Day, November 1884. If I should need to name, O Western world, your powerful scene and show, 'twould not be you, Niagara, nor you, ye limitless prairies, nor your huge rifts of canyons, Colorado, nor you, Yosemite, nor Yellowstone, with all its spasmic geyser loops ascending to the skies, appearing and disappearing, nor Oregon's white cones, nor Huron's belt of mighty lakes, nor Mississippi's stream, this seething hemisphere's humanity, as now I'd name the still, small voice vibrating America's choosing day, the heart of it not in the chosen, the act itself, the main, the quadriennial choosing, the stretch of north and south, aroused seaboard and inland, Texas to Maine, the prairie states, Vermont, Virginia, California, the final ballot shower, from east to west, the paradox and conflict, the countless snowflakes falling, a swordless conflict, yet more than all Rome's wars of old or modern Napoleon's, the peaceful choice of all. Or good, or ill, humanity's welcoming the darker odds, the dross foams and ferments the wine it serves to purify, while the heart pants, life glows. These stormy gusts and winds waft precious ships, swelled Washington's, Jefferson's, Lincoln's sails. It is good to see, again, that Whitman continues to be winning. Man doesn't miss. Calling out how the wonder of a peaceful election cycle and the pageantry and the spirit that goes into it is more impressive than any of the natural wonders that go on between our shores. Very, very on point. With husky, haughty lips, O sea. With husky, haughty lips, O sea, where day and night I wend thy surf-beat shore, imaging to my sense thy varied strange suggestions. I see, and plainly list thy talk and conference here. Thy troops of white-maned racers racing to the goal, thy ample smiling face dashed with the sparkling dimples of the sun, thy brooding scowl and murk, thy unloosed hurricanes, thy unsubduedness, caprices, willfulness, great as thou art above the rest, thy many tears, alack from all eternity in thy content, naught but the greatest struggles, wrongs, defeats could make thee greatest, no less could make thee. Thy lonely state, something thou ever seekest, yet never gainst. Surely some right withheld, some voice in huge, monotonous rage of freedom love bent, some vast heart like a planet's chained and chafing in those breakers by lengthened swell and spasm and panting breath and rhythmic rasping of thy sands and waves and serpent hiss and the savage peals of laughter and undertones of distant lion roar, sounding, appealing to the sky's deaf ear, but now rapport for once, a phantom in the night, thy confidant for once. The first and last confession of the globe, outsurging, muttering from thy soul's abysms, the tale of cosmic, elemental passion thou tellest to a kindred soul. Death of General Grant. Poor Walt has to outlive all his heroes. As one by one withdrew the lofty actors from that great play on history's stage etern, that lurid, portal act of war and peace, of old and new contending, fought out through wrath, fears, dark dismays, and many a long suspense. All past and since, in countless graves receding, mellowing, victors and vanquished, Lincolns and Lees, now thou with them. Man of the mighty days, and equal to the days, thou, from the prairies tangled and many-veined, and hard has been thy part, to admiration has it been enacted. Red jacket from aloft. Upon this scene, this show, yielded today by fashion, learning, wealth, nor in caprice alone some grains of deepest meaning, haply aloft, who knows, from distant sky clouds blended shapes, as some old tree or rock or cliff thrilled with its soul, product of nature's sun, stars, earth, direct, a towering human form, in hunting shirt of film, armed with the rifle, a half-ironical smile, curving its phantom lips, like one of Ossian's ghosts, looks down. All right. That gets us past the 90% mark of this book, so let's go ahead and set a bookmark. We are a little tiny bit over time, but that is fine. Fine. So let's shift out of our reading nook here. All right. So, this has been our 10th reading from Walt Whitman's Leaves of Grass. And as always, I'm so impressed by Whitman here. The emotion bleeds from the page. He's so good at this. Absolutely fantastic. I'm usually not one for poetry. I'm more of a prose and novel and even history sort. But every once in a while, there's somebody who just resonates with you. And Whitman hits it so right. His opinions are generally contemporary. He's open, accepting, but at the same time proud of who he is and the people that he is a part of, the potential. Yeah, this is one of the longest that we've read. You've probably got a more convenient look if you're mentioning top 5, but yeah, this is up there, and I'm not really mad at it. Not mad at all. It's one of those that it's been a fun read this entire time. So that is, again, just ringing home. This has been a good choice and a good read. And I think we should be finishing it up next time. We might need to run over a little bit, but I don't have anything better to do on a Tuesday, huh? So, all right, let's go ahead and go through our wrap-up as we usually do. As always, thank you for joining us. I am Arthur Irving Rush, as you may have gathered from the stream title or the channel titles. Or if you just wandered in, fantastic. Fucking welcome aboard. As a reminder, we always stream both to YouTube and Twitch. So, feel free to join in on whichever platform you find most comfortable for yourself. If you're over on YouTube, a like on the stream and a subscription to the channel goes a long way to convincing the algorithm to send us some new friends. If you're on Twitch, thanks for joining us. This is our newer platform, and we're still growing our base. A follow so you can keep tabs on us and get some alerts when we go live is all I could reasonably ask for. Generally, the chat's a little bit more active on Twitch, so if you want to participate, that's probably your best bet. All right, our next stream will be on Tuesday. We have a reasonably strict schedule, so you can kind of follow along on the schedule tab and generally know when we're going live. So, as always, thank you very, very much for joining us. I'm going to see if we can find another reader on Twitch to raid into. There aren't a ton of readers on Twitch, so I like to try and share our communities and share about. It helps to encourage people to keep on with things. So let's see, we've got... Oh, Caleb is reading 100 Years of Solitude, but he's been going for about 2 years, or 2 hours, 2 years, good lord. And then, let's see. Jev is reading, I think we rated her last week, though. The guy is reading the Bhagavad Gita. That's ambitious. Wow. Let's see. A lot of writers tonight. Oh, you know what? I don't think we've gone to EM lately. That might be where we... Oh, well, yeah. He's sort of relatively fresh tonight. Only about half hour in. Unless anyone has any friends that they think we should raid into, I think we'll be going over to EM. So, let's go ahead and get that fired off. Alright, as always, thanks for joining us. I hope you guys have had a good time, and I hope you've been enjoying Walt Whitman's Leaves of Grass. As we approach the end of this book, a reminder that I'm always open to suggestions. So, if you have anything you'd like to hear me read, feel free to pass it on. Alright. Have a good night, everyone, and be sure to give EM our very best wishes as he is reading We Could Be Rats. Alright. Good night, everybody.
That's an offensive stereotype, I'm sorry.